Episode number 176.
Guess what? If you're a hair salon and you're talking to a retired person that comes in during the day, and you're talking to a business person that comes in at night, you can't talk to them the same way.
Right.
You can't make the same offers. You can't speak the same language.
Welcome to the Be Real Show with Travis Too Tall and Huff, where we talk about life, dreams, social media, and business.
Well, hello and welcome to the Be Real Show with Travis Too Tall and Huff. Folks, I'm fired up today. It is Friday, and after this podcast, hopefully, we're going to get you some more reviews in your pipeline so you can get yourself some more business. And as we all know, reputation is everything. But I'm excited to bring you our featured guest today, Josh Kelly. Josh, are you ready to be real?
I'm as ready. I'm as real as they come, man. What are you talking about? I'm always ready.
Oh, yeah. Josh is Josh is the co-founder of Review Kangaroo, the world's leading reputation management system, an automated SaaS business that helps you generate countless reviews, folks. And as we know in today's world, when I started in social 10 years ago, reviews were important, but now I think more than ever, businesses are thinking about it. Brands are thinking about how I can get more reviews, leverage those. Josh has an extensive background in marketing. He's worked at a variety of different companies like, Parker & Sons, Dial America. And eventually he said, you know what, I'm going to start my own marketing firm. And he started Diversified Marketing Group and the Clover Marketing Group. And then eventually he also helped his family business. This is interesting too. A local heating and cooling company grow from a $7 to $100 million business, folks, in just 14 years. He has graced the stages with folks like the Zig Ziglar Foundation, David Yoho, and also been on major platforms like CBS, Fox, and NBC, and now the Be Real Show, folks. So let's get into it, my man. Excited to have you on the show today. You are currently out in Phoenix. Is that correct?
That is correct, man. It's a wonderful, hot, as incredibly crazy hot as it gets right now. It's like 1:15 today, man.
Oh, goodness, man. My grandparents and my mother live in Phoenix. So they live in Moon Valley Drive area. So we live in Fresno, so we know all about the heat, but that's 1:15 is hot, folks.
Yeah, so, it's they make jokes like you could cook an egg on the sidewalk, but you really can cook an egg on the sidewalk when it's 1:15, man. That's no longer a joke.
Put out the cookies on your dashboard and let them cook. I've seen some funny viral videos like people cooking their cookies in their car on their in their dashboard. It's very interesting. But my man, I'm getting into your business here. What made you have the epiphany after being in marketing agency, working in a lot of different companies to say, you know what, I'm going to start my own business and it's going to be helping clients get more reputation and reviews?
Yes, I've been an entrepreneur for a long time. Review Kangaroo is not my first, entrepreneur.
Not the first gig.
Yeah, really Parker & Sons, that's actually my family's business. So
gotcha.
I came in and I helped out the marketing and I did some operations there. And really blew that up. Like now, Parker & Sons is one of the largest home service companies in the country, probably a top 5, maybe a top 10 at the very least. We have about 550 team members just here in Phoenix, right? And I kind of grew that from, I wouldn't say a small business, 7 million is not tiny, but it's certainly not 100. We'll probably do 120 this year, right?
Wow.
And then started my own marketing firm a couple times, actually. One that specializes in HVAC, plumbing, kind of home services, one that's a little bit more broad. And then the SaaS business, which is Review Kangaroo. And, it's not like a lot of people think like, hey, did you set up to be an entrepreneur? Was that your goal? I was like, no. Right. I just had a need. And I was trying to figure out stuff for my own business, right?
Right.
And when I was figuring out stuff for my own business, like, you know what? A lot of other people probably like this too. And that's how businesses are born sometimes.
Absolutely. And also into your name, my man, Review Kangaroo. What gave you that epiphany on it? I like how it now sticks in my head more.
Yeah, the truth is, like, everyone, I've heard so many good compliments about that name. It's like we're some marketing geniuses to come up with something like that. But the truth is, it's not a good story. Literally what happened is Review Kangaroo was not our first choice.
Right.
And the names that we're looking at, you'd be surprised how difficult it is to find a URL that's available with the word review in that's not up for sale for like $100,000.
Right.
So we had like 5 to 10 names that we really liked, and we just couldn't find something. We weren't in love with it. Literally, me and my business partner, like, why don't we just name things that rhyme with review?
Yes.
And we kept going, and we had a list of like 100, right? 100 different names at the end of it. And I said, let's just cut half of them right now. And we just kept cutting, and we just kept cutting. And over like a week, we just kept whittling down. Somehow, both of us were like, I don't really like Review Kangaroo, but just kept making the cut. And at the end, it was like, you know what? That's the name. Forget it. Like, that's good enough.
Right. Just run with it. Let's go.
Yeah, let's run with it. And we get comments too. It's like, we have a lot of business. We do a lot of business in Australia, all over the world, right? And they're like, oh, you're an Australian. I love the name. It's like, no, I've eaten kangaroo once before. I don't know if that counts, but
Right.
but no, it's just, it rhymes with review.
Yeah, dude. Sometimes those are the best things, man. You just, it's like you said, you don't want to spend $100,000 on just a website domain.
Oh, yeah. And at the time, like, we had a really good idea and we were building it, but, we didn't know we were going to be as large and as successful as we were. We were just trying to solve our own issues. Like, if we had just fixed the issues for the clients I had, that would have been considered a win, right?
Right.
We didn't know we were going to have thousands of clients.
Wow.
So the name wasn't that important to us in a way. We're like, we'll see what happens. But
right. And can you let our listeners know a little bit more about what Review Kangaroo can do for them?
Yeah, essentially what it is, it's an automated system. It's a plugin if you're a WordPress website. And the way it works is, let's say you're a hair salon or a plumber or a lawyer or a dentist. We're going to reach out to all your clientele on a daily basis, everyone that you just did business with, basically. We'll email, text message, reach out on social media, and ask them for a review. Not just reviews, but we actively help people cross-sell, get referrals, things that everybody says they'd love to do but don't consistently do. I can guarantee happens. And then what we do essentially is we drive them through a funnel that we build on your website that ties directly with Google, directly with Yelp, directly with Facebook. And if it's a positive experience, that's exactly where those reviews end up. If it's a negative experience, we essentially give that company the chance to try to solve the issue before it becomes permanent out on Google, right, where everyone sees it. So basically, it's a very simple way to get more customers, increase your revenue, increase your average ticket. I mean, our average client grows about 15% revenue just the first 6 months of the program. That's our average.
That's awesome. You guys really figured something out here, brother. I think more and more businesses are taking it seriously too. I think that's the strike the iron while it's hot, because I think right now, even 10 years ago, when we were doing started on social, clients didn't really care that much about reviews as much. Now it's like a lot bigger. I think I just feel that way.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like this. I explain it like this, right? When SEO really first started, right, the search engine optimization, where you're building your website specifically for Google searches, right?
Right.
When it first started, you did not have to be good at it. Right. Like, you could be very basic and you would kill it. Your business would blow up because no one really knew about it. And then as it started going on, now SEO, if you're going to do SEO, you better be spending 10 plus grand a month. Right. Even then, depending on what market, what industry, that's maybe not nearly enough.
Right.
Now it's very difficult to play. Reviews are the same thing. Right now is just when people are starting to pay attention. So if you have a system right now, I mean, Parker & Sons got last year like 6,000 5-star reviews. We have clients that have even more than that in a single year or single 6 months, or just 6 months, right? That drastically changes your business. It's going to become more competitive within the next few years because people will start paying attention. But
right,
if you get ahead of the game now, it's a lead that's very hard to erode.
Yeah, I mean, 6,000 positive reviews, folks, is epic. I mean,
yeah, I'm not saying like, hey, 6,000 people like this. I'm saying like 6,000 reviews on Google, Yelp, Facebook, BBB specifically.
Right, which does drive SEO, which does drive more business to your brand, as well as also at the end of the day makes you look like a credible and reputable source when people are.
Yeah. Here's the basic truth, right? Like, I'm not so cocky or confident that people know what any of my clients or even Review Kangaroo is, right? What they're going to do is they're going to look up service on Google generally, right? Most people use Google, but it could be any service or any platform. Look you up, and how are they going to compare you to others?
Totally.
The first thing they see is reviews. It's the very first thing they see. And then based off that, maybe they'll check out your website.
Right.
you have bad reviews there, you don't even get to be part of the conversation.
Totally. Yeah, like 2 1-star reviews, you're screwed.
Yeah, I mean, like literally, why have a website? And that sounds so harsh, but if you're below like a 4.4 in a competitive market or a competitive industry, man, it's rough.
Right. Yeah, that's how people like my man Josh just explained it, folks. Just think about your own search. You go to Google, you search, and you then kind of figure out what looks good as far as obviously reputation and reviews. That's what you see first in the algorithm as far as on their map. And then next thing you know, okay, they have good reviews. Okay, maybe I will browse their website. Maybe I will give them a call. So it is the way that people are probably making their buying decisions, especially on a local service provider level. I think especially, right? Because I find that sometimes the bigger brands and stuff like that, they're like, why do I need reviews? You know?
Yeah, no, I mean, I've heard that conversation.
Yeah, like Nike is like, I don't need reviews, Josh. But it's like if you're a local provider, it's like your lifeblood.
Oh yeah, I mean maybe Nike has the argument, but I would actually argue it's probably not even true for Nike. But yeah, it affects Nike less because everyone knows what Nike is.
Right.
Everybody understands what their brand does and what's important. But you better believe, like a Nike is a perfect example of someone who maybe is less affected by reviews. But Nike spends millions of dollars a year getting reviews on their shoes, on their apparel, on everything.
Right.
Even they heavily invest, right?
Oh.
Knowing that everybody knows what Nike is doesn't matter. It's what consumers are slowly moving towards. The truth is, you can buy Nikes online on Amazon, right? They will not show up to the top of the page if they don't have good reviews.
Right.
You're aware of that, right? And if you don't see them, then you can't choose them.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. So even the big brands, you got to think about it yourselves too. Don't think that you've done too much branding already, and you've already done all this effort, and you've exhausted all your resources. Things like these kind of software can really help even enhance your business, even if you aren't a huge or a local brand and you are a bigger brand. Like you said, I think more than ever, especially now, as you probably heard the stat. I mean, it's harder to stay in the Fortune 500 than ever. It's like
for sure.
4 to 10 years, businesses are cycling in and out of that sucker. In complement with reputation and reviews, how are you finding success? What are you guys doing in addition to that you're getting success for your Review Kangaroo to get to the level you're at?
Yeah, I mean, it really depends which business we're talking about, but Review Kangaroo specifically.
Right, Review Kangaroo, yep.
Yeah, we've had a lot of success doing a lot of different things. I've never had a silver bullet. It was like, if you just do this,
right,
you can blow up.
Right.
Some people will tell you that. I just tell you from my personal experience growing, 2 9-figure businesses and 3 8-figure businesses. I've never found like this one offer that you can make, or this one tool that you use, or this one procedure that you follow, and all of a sudden everything works.
Right.
It's a combination of a lot of really small things. It's the blocking and tackling that wins Super Bowls, right? Not special.
Totally. Yeah,
but for Review Kangaroo specifically, I mean, like, I hate to give advice on like what we do, because what we do is not exactly what everyone else does, and it's going to change. Like for Review Kangaroo, this is a great way that we get get our brand out there and get people to understand us. Review Kangaroo is something that people don't really even know exists, and there's an explanation process. So getting in front of people on large scale is a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking at like an EJA or a Zig Ziglar, where I'm speaking to 4,000 or 5,000 people at a time, it's a pretty big boost in sales and branding and awareness. Things like this podcast. I love being on podcasts, especially with amazing people. It helps, borrow your authority. So personal branding has been a big piece for Review Kangaroo. But that really, that entirely depends on your business. That's just because it's a SaaS business. We're selling software. It's fully automated. You buy it once, and essentially it works for the rest of your life. It's pretty simple.
Right.
You don't really even have to do anything. If you're, a hair salon or a dentist or a doctor or a marketing firm, way more touch points. You got to be doing way different things.
Right. Yeah, it's a different process. So if you are a hair salon, you need to be getting those email addresses of your customers so you can get them to go give you a review.
Yeah, most people, they don't really realize it, but you can get people to log in to book appointments online. And what you're really doing there, yes, you're making the experience better for the customer. That's very important. But you're also collecting contact information. information. And so many businesses collect contact information or don't effectively collect contact information, but more importantly, they never do anything with it.
Right.
They never ask for reviews, which is really important. There's a specific way to ask for reviews. We can go into that if you want, but I mean, it gets complicated, right? But they don't really make solid offers. They don't really follow up with customers. Like, we go as sophisticated as putting people in buckets, and this is going to sound crazy, but young, no kids, has a family, older, no kids. And we're sending different messages based off of those demographics. Because guess what? If you're a hair salon and you're talking to a retired person that comes in during the day, and you're talking to a business person that comes in at night that's coming straight from work, you can't talk to them the same way.
Right.
You can't make the same offers. You can't speak the same language. As weird as it sounds, if you're sending text messages and they're younger, emojis are really actually powerful to get people to open emails
right.
text messages. You do that to a 65-year-old, you look unprofessional. Right. You know what I mean? So getting that remarketing campaign, like so many people say they do it, what they do is they, Facebook stalk you for a few days. But it's not really remarketing because there's not any real thought to it and process and testing and, numbers behind it.
Yeah, I think remarketing too is another untapped source.
Oh, yeah. The easiest way to make more money, and this is dead serious for any entrepreneur out there, is really, really simple, right? You can raise your prices. That's the most easy, basic way to make more money. Or you can make more money off the customers you get. There's three ways to make more money. It's raise your pricing, get customers to spend with you more often, which is what remarketing is, or get new customers. Getting new customers is what most people focus on.
Right.
It's the hardest, most expensive of the three.
Totally. Yeah, they're going after people that haven't even been to their website.
Yeah. And making all this effort, which I get you got to do. I'm not saying don't do that.
Right.
But if you make every customer worth more to you, it's a lot easier to spend that money and justify bringing in those new customers. It creates a snowball effect, right? You're picking up steam as you go because every customer you bring in is worth more money. Right. And then when you have more money to advertise, you actually lower the cost that it costs to get those customers, the CAC, right? So you're making more money out of every customer ends up costing less to bring in. And then when you bring them in, you make more money off of them. So you have even more to spend. And it's just this beautiful cycle of money.
Yeah, folks, I think you need to rewind that 30 seconds because there's some mind drops right there for real. Because I do think you're right. I mean, they speak about people that are running ads on the Super Bowl. They're trying to get new people. Unless you're Pepsi, unless you're PepsiCo, if you're some startup web company that wants to get people to, come to your site and sign up, the offer is going to have to be incredible. Like we're giving away $10 million. Come sign up today, or you're going to be fighting for people's attention because you got your mix of Pepsi and your mix of all these big brands, Budweiser, and then you pop up for a $3 million ad, and then you might get a few customers, but that, like you said, the cost of those are going to be expensive.
Oh yeah. A lot of people I kind of describe this to people, and I do this specifically for reviews, right? No one, and I'm not going to say in their right mind, but no one I know of or have ever met would ever run a radio campaign where they buy one ad on one station to run one time.
Right.
They do that for Super Bowl ads,
right.
Which I also think is a mistake, but no one would do that. And the reason no one would do that is because you have to hit customers multiple times in multiple ways to get them to do anything. Right. I relate this a lot to reviews. A lot of people send one email or one text message after the service is done and expect that to blow up their reviews.
Yeah.
Why would they're doing you a favor?
Right.
Literally, right? Why is that going to move the needle? And you can't even get people to call you when they want your service. They want to do business with you. By having them touch 3 or 4 times, that's not enough. Why would having them do a favor for you be easier?
Right. Totally. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the truth about everything. People try one shot at a podcast. Oh, I'm going to put out a podcast. Oh, you know what, Josh? The numbers aren't there, man. I'm done. I got a one podcast show. It's the truth, man. You got to just keep working. Like you said, blocking and tackling. I think there's no right solution for everybody, but in today's world, I think you need to have contacts. You need to have your clients' contact. I think you need to have them on, social media following or some sort of following, blog following, some sort of community, email. and then heavy into reputation. Because without, like I said, we've talked about it a few times, but no business is, can avoid this. It's the future. I mean, people are going to be reviewing you. There's going to be more people reviewing you. They'll probably make it easier. Have you ever had bad feedback about Yelp lately in the last few years? Unpositive people's reviews and doing all sorts of crazy stuff. Shout out to Google and Facebook for at least putting out the reviews there, positive or negative. Have tons of challenges with Yelp because for some reason they just all of a sudden decided to change something and take away a bunch of reviews that were positive. It's like crazy. Yeah. And hide it.
I mean, I'm very familiar and intimate with Yelp space right here in Phoenix. I've been to the corporate office. I know things that most people don't know pretty significantly.
Hopefully they change something.
Yelp is an interesting business, and because of my relationship with them, that's probably about as far as I could go.
Totally.
But I mean, Yelp is a huge pain point for people. It's very difficult to do well unless you're using a system like ours. Really, I think we're the only ones that directly integrate with Yelp.
Gotcha.
I think at all right now. But even with our system, right, we get a 40 to 50% land rate on Yelp, which sounds horrible.
Right.
It sounds absolutely horrible until you realize, like, hey, if you're getting reviews yourself, you're looking at 3 to 5% land rate.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I wish they would make it just a little easier for the verification and things like that. It just seems like they're kind of hurting themselves.
Well, Yelp is designed for that. You got to understand what it's designed for, right? Yelp is designed to protect the consumer. It's not business friendly by design.
That's a good point.
So I do jujitsu, and this is kind of off topic, but like I love jujitsu for one-on-one fighting. It's an amazing martial art, right? And like we tease people like that do karate or whatever, right? Where you're like punching the air, right? And it's not like actual live fighting that you actually train with and learn with, which is hard to do for certain sports, right? And I listened to a podcast once, a guy named Lloyd Irvin, if everyone knows who that is. And he went through this whole process, like every martial art is amazing at what it's designed for. And you start thinking about it, it's like karate. If you're getting in a fight with someone, if you know karate and they don't know anything, yeah, you'll win.
Right.
If you're getting in a fight and you know karate and they know jiu-jitsu or wrestling or Muay Thai kickboxing, you're probably going to get
toasted.
However, karate was made for literally kicking people off of horses. That's what it was designed for. It's perfect for that. You know what I mean? Like, so you have to take it back and like, hey, what was this actually built for? What was the reasoning behind? Yelp is not built for businesses.
That's a good point.
They're kind of built to be anti-business in a very literal way.
That's a very good point. I've never had anyone tell me that as far as the way you're saying it so eloquently there and simple. Because it's a good way to be able to respond to customers about that, because it's although they all kind of want to, group them together, it's different. It's a different platform. It's a more consumer focused platform. They're not there to help you. Really.
No.
They're there to take your ad dollars, but they're not there to necessarily help you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, Matt. Well, we're going to now take you into our top 10. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Apple or Android?
Apple.
Netflix or YouTube?
Netflix.
Instagram or Twitter?
Oh my gosh, I don't really do either, but if I had to choose Twitter.
Twitter. Laptop or an iPhone?
Laptop.
Spotify or Pandora?
Spotify.
Movies or video games?
I haven't played a video game in like 10 years, man.
I used to love playing video games too.
I did too.
We don't got time for that, man. We don't got time. Reading books or listening to books?
Reading books is better, but I'm lazy and I don't have that much time. So I listen to books every single month. One book, business book a month and stuff.
Oh, nice. Do you do Audible or some source like that?
Yeah, Audible. I love Audible.
Yeah, it's a great platform. Stocks, crypto, or real estate?
Right now, real estate. Normally stocks.
Stocks, got you. Oceans or lakes?
Oh, depends on the situation.
Depends on the vibe. Depends on the vibe.
Yeah. I would say overall, oceans.
Yeah. Overall oceans, but lakes are beautiful.
Oh, lakes are way more relaxed and fun. You could get a lot crazier in the lake.
Right, yeah, exactly. You get tied up with some people and have a good old time back there in the lake. You guys got Lake Havasu not too far away from you guys, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's where it goes down, brother. That's where it goes down. All right, Matt, can you wake up in the morning and you're getting ready today for the day? Why do you love being you, Josh Kelly?
I'm the only me.
You're the only you.
I'm unique, man. I don't know. I just
cool,
enjoy
man.
what I do. I enjoy my life, and positive vibes, positive situations. Yeah, I mean, what's not to be happy about?
Right.
Quite literally.
It's the only way to look at it. And when you start your day, do you have a certain way you start your day? Is there some vibe, get things going? Do you have a certain routine to your morning?
I have a little bit of routine. I'm not. Some people are super routine oriented in the morning. I'm not necessarily a morning person. I'm more of a night person. I work late and then I'm groggy for the first hour. But every morning, I do work out, so I generally run in the morning.
Oh, nice.
I meditate in the morning for 10 to 15 minutes, and then kick off my day sprinting as fast as I can.
Yeah, dude, that's the only way to do it, man. I've been getting myself to take a nice little short 2-mile run, but push myself. You know what I mean? You really get some energy on that 2-mile run. I mean, it's anyone that hasn't done the 2-mile run lately, just go outside and put on your headphones and do it, because you feel great afterwards. Feel great.
Oh yeah. The weird thing is, I've been running for years, and I've never experienced a runner's high in my entire life. Like, every time I'm like, why am I doing this?
Right. And you wake up, you're like, what the hell am I doing?
Especially right now, because it's even warm in the morning. So it's like,
right.
Why am I doing this?
Right. But once you're done, you just you're like, all right, I got something done. It's
you feel accomplished. You feel good. It's a good way to start the day. But yeah, during it, like, some people love running. Like, I've done a marathon just to spite myself, which is probably not the right reason to do it. But yeah, I've never experienced a runner's high. Like, literally every time I'm like,
right.
Okay, it's only another mile.
You're like, God dang it. God, this sucks. Where's some better music? Let's get this thing going here. What skill do you want to master? Is there something you're working on to master right now?
There's always something. I always keep 2 mentors in my life at all times, 2 mentees. One's an overall mentor, someone I kind of want to be like, and one's a skill mentor. Right now, my skill mentor is actually, ultimately, I'm a marketing guy, which means I'm also a sales guy. I'm also a communicator. I have somebody that I'm spending time with once a week, hour once a week, where I'm learning more purposeful body language.
Ooh.
That's what I'm doing right now for skill.
That's cool. And purposeful body language, you mean like in a meeting setting or when you're presenting and things like that?
In general, overall. Like, I've already got, as weird as it sounds, I could always be better, but if I'm speaking or meetings, that's actually fairly easy for me.
Right.
I don't know how or why. I mean, I've read a lot. That's probably part of it, but I'm pretty good at that. But just, it's one of those things, like, you do things naturally, and sometimes you do things right naturally. But when you're aware that you're doing them, and you're doing them purposely, even if you're doing the same thing, it totally changes it. Got you.
You're just more aware of your actions, your body language, and things like that, the non-conscious or the unconscious that's coming out in there. Your communication. Interesting. Do you have a favorite app that you like using on a daily basis?
A favorite app I use on a daily basis? No. Like HubSpot.
HubSpot, okay.
I don't know. I mean, I use a lot of apps all the time.
There's so many different tools, man. Huh? It's like crazy. How do you keep your head straight with all the different tools out there?
I pick and choose, man. So there's a lot of amazing things out there. If it takes work for me and effort, then I probably don't do it. That's why I don't do like a Twitter or Instagram. I don't value that more over, working with a team or, getting on the phone or, having that personal connection. So that's why I don't do stuff like that. And the same things with apps. Like, if it doesn't provide value for me and it's not clear to provide value, then I try not to do it.
That's smart. Yeah. Why waste time? I think there's so many people wasting time out there, obviously stuck in these worlds of apps, man.
Well, the thing is, it's wasting time is relevant, right? So what's right for me isn't necessarily right for other people. Like, some
absolutely,
people Instagram and Twitter, and they even grow businesses off of it. Some people do waste a lot of time. Some people get a lot of enjoyment and fulfillment out of that too, though. It's just not me.
Entertainment, things like that. Yeah. I think it's a good point. Just don't do things that you aren't happy with. Don't do things that you don't like. Don't feel forced to be on social if you don't really want to be on social.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, here's the basics to it, right? Like, to me, you could do almost anything you want and it'd be totally healthy as long as you're aware of what you're doing, right? If you're constantly on Twitter, but you know that you're doing that, you're doing it purposely, that's what you want to do,
right?
And it's hard for me to argue with you, right? Like, you get it. If you're just like constantly on the phone and you're constantly on Twitter and you don't even realize how much time you're spending or what you're doing or what the opportunity loss is for doing that,
right?
then that's maybe not the healthiest thing in the world. You should at least know and make an informed decision.
Yeah, based on, and if you want, obviously iPhone has a great, way of calculating where you're spending your time on your apps. They send you an update that says, hey, Travis, you spent this much time on your screen, which I think is cool. I think it's smart to Apple that did that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Let you know where you're spending your time. And maybe you do want to make that change. If you're spending too much time on Farmville or wherever the heck you're playing or whatever, whatever you're doing,
Is Farmville still a thing?
It is, dude. My wife likes it, man. So I already know all about it. I remember many moons ago, Candy Crush, man. And I was like, come on, man, Candy Crush. And then it's been five years now since Candy Crush, but they got more Farmville, this and that. Farm Heroes, I don't even know all of them, but there's a million games to spend a million hours if you wanted to. If you could today, my man, sit down to a lovely lunch with anyone in the world, be real, who would it be?
So, like, dead or alive, assuming it's totally fine, and I get to choose like what condition they're in too.
Absolutely.
I mean, I would love to sit down with Muhammad Ali when he was in his prime.
Wow, that would be epic.
It'd be fun.
That guy had some swag, man. That guy had some serious swagger if you watch his videos.
Oh yeah, man. I don't know why, but I was just always fascinated by him. I've met him a couple times, but
really,
but it was later in life, and he just wasn't as Yeah, you get it.
Absolutely. Yeah, meeting him in his prime would have been unbelievable.
Totally different. Absolutely, yeah.
What book has changed your life? Is there a book that has stuck out and really, either reread or it's stuck on your heart?
So the very first business book I ever read was How to Win Friends and Influence People. I reread that every year. I love that book. Love. Awesome. If you're looking for a really good sales book, I love The Way of the Wolf by Jordan Belfort.
Okay. I've heard about this one. Okay. This is the
book.
The Wolf of Wall Street, right?
Yeah. That guy, he wrote a book on kind of his sales tactics and about tonality and anchoring. Some really cool tactical stuff, as well as some theoretical that you could really apply every day.
Awesome.
Know Your Why is a great book. I mean, there's a lot of great books out there. I mean,
that's the hard part, I think, is there's so many damn great books out there. Just like there's probably so many damn good Netflix shows or all this stuff. It's like, it's hard to pick.
Yeah.
Hard to pick. You have to just...
And the real flaw is just, the only thing you can do wrong is just not pick.
Right. Totally.
Pick something.
Totally.
You only have to read it once.
Especially in books. Maybe on Netflix, you can skip the Netflix, but especially an Audible or a real physical book, you really can't go wrong, I think.
I agree. Even as weird as it sounds, sometimes, you visit businesses or read books or listen to speaking events or whatever it is. Sometimes you may learn what you don't want to do, and that could be just as valuable.
Oh, yeah.
You learn something from everybody and from every book.
Oh, yeah. I always stuck to me when a guest is saying, this person puts in, 30 or 40 or 20 or whatever years of expertise or knowledge that they've had of experiences, and they put it into a book that you can read and soak up that whole industry or that whole knowledge, like you talk about with the sales book or the, how to win friends and influence people. That's why one of the top books I get on my podcast after 176 shows now. It's it's not that hard. It's just doing those things sometimes could be hard, right? I mean, in situations. And so it's always nice to have a book that you can reread and something on your heart. Is there a favorite thing you like doing at night? A favorite show, something fun to do, something not work related?
I do jujitsu. I go home every day.
Nice.
I cook. I love cooking. I'm not a big TV person. I just don't. It just doesn't. It's the same thing. I don't think there's anything wrong with watching TV if you're doing it purposely and that's how you relax. That's not how I relax.
Right.
But yeah, I do jujitsu. I work out.
Do you do that every day too? Then jujitsu.
I do jujitsu 3 to 4 times a week, and I do a normal gym 3 or 4 times a week. So I work out 6 days a week.
Nice, dude. That's awesome, brother. Hey, that's what's making you successful too, right there. That activity, that energy.
It's like, some people say your energy drop spikes, and for me, it's just stress relief. Honestly.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it is for me. Otherwise I would lose my mind.
Totally. especially probably the jiu-jitsu, because you get to hit something and feel, you feel that inner testosterone inside of you. Yeah. Well, it's scary nowadays because there's so many people that know jiu-jitsu and stuff. You have to be careful out there. I mean, I'm sure you don't, but the normal person does, because you don't want to look someone the wrong way. Everyone these days is like picking up MMA now. It's like, holy shit. These guys all know how to choke hold you and put you in a 5-finger death hold, and watch yourself around here, man. Watch these. See a lot of training shirts. A lot of different gyms and training and things like that. So, if you could give our Josh, our listeners, one last real talk thought, what would that be?
One last real talk thought. To me, like the success I've had is based off one thing and really one thing only. I've learned to simplify things. When you simplify things, they're more executable and you can get more buy-in. So I generally, this is a real thing. If it's complicated, no matter how good an idea it is, I'm generally not going to do it. It's going to be really, really rare. I do anything that's complicated that I can't explain to someone else in 2 sentences. And because of that, I get a lot of things executed, get a lot of things done. Ideas are cheap, execution is what matters, right? So simplify your life, simplify your business, simplify your processes, and it works amazingly well.
And check out Review Kangaroo, folks. We're going to put that in the show notes. Folks, you've been hanging out with Josh Kelly and Travis Too Tall and Huff. I want to thank you again for your time today, and let's keep being real. What another epic episode. And if you enjoyed the episode today, can you please do me a favor and subscribe to our podcast, The Be Real Show, on iTunes or your favorite podcast platform, and also take a little time today, if you don't mind, and give your boy T Huff a review. I would really super appreciate it, and thank you so much for listening today.